Alright, guys. It is Monday, October 11th, 2021 at 7:37 p.m. Alright, let's start with a verse of the day from dailyverses.net. It says, "Even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning." Joel 2:12. Alright, guys, let's start with taking a look at the earthquakes. There was a large earthquake at 6.9 off of Alaska, 114 kilometers east of Chignik, Alaska, in depth of 69.1 kilometers. There was no tsunami warning with it. It was just a large quake that happened off the coast of Alaska. Alright, yesterday there was multiple earthquakes that happened off Hawaii, and somebody decided to leave comments on my YouTube channel. I had made a video called Hawaii 6.2 and 6.1 earthquakes, and somebody decided to leave a mean comment saying, "Hey, you're a dumbass, there was only one earthquake." And I'm here to tell you, no, my friend, there were two earthquakes. Two strong earthquakes, a 6.1 and a 6.2 earthquake, strike out south of Hawaii's Big Island, 2,000 people reporting shaking, up to Maui, no tsunami threat. USGS only reports one. So there were two earthquakes. There was two strong earthquakes south of Hawaii's Big Island on Sunday. Weirdly, the USGS homepage only lists and shows one. The first earthquake was a magnitude 6.1 that shook the island around noon, landing about 17 miles south of the southeastern tip of the Big Island, the U.S. Geological Survey said. A second earthquake, which was a magnitude 6.2, struck about 20 minutes later in the same area. So, touche, my friend. There were two earthquakes. You don't have to be a mean person and go out of your way and leave horrible comments just because you didn't know the information. Instead, just say, "Hey, why did you put just one earthquake instead of two?" Or, ask questions instead of go out of the way and start yelling at people. Anyways, moving on from that. Alright, so there was a 6.2 earthquake south of Hawaii. This is the little map showing how the earthquake affected the land as the earthquake traveled across, activating seismographs around the whole country. Alright. Next, apocalyptic weather. Outbreak leaves path of destruction across the southern plains. Giant hail, damaging tornadoes, more than 400,000 lightnings, widespread power outages, and NFL game delayed. So severe weather happening across the South Plains. It says communities across the southern plains were recovering Monday after multiple tornadoes tore through the region, leaving a path of destruction and a weather pattern that threatened even more severe storms. The severe weather swept through the region on Sunday night into Monday morning, particularly affecting Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, and Texas. 11 total tornadoes were reported across Oklahoma and Missouri on Sunday. The storms that produced the potential tornadoes were also responsible for large hail and damaging winds. So here is a little map of the tornado outbreak that happened in the southern plains across Texas and Oklahoma. It says, yesterday a tornado outbreak occurred in the southern plains with numerous supercells going upscale of a squall line and producing over a dozen tornadoes in the process. There was also very large destructive hail and significant damaging winds. Alright, so pray for the people who had to go through those tornadoes. Alright, next, large amount of pumice volcanic stones mysteriously washes up on the coast of Kidaito Island, Japan. Did we miss another underwater eruption? It says, in October, a large amount of pumice stones, very light and porous volcanic rock, formed when a gas-rich froth of glassy lava solidifies rapidly that had been found across the coast of Kidaito Island, Okinawa Prefecture, Japan. The meteorological agency is now investigating its origin. Final results show that they could have been released during the eruption of an underwater volcano back in August of 2021. The pumice was found covering beaches and stones over more than a dozen kilometers from the northern and eastern coast of Kidaito Island. In this video, you can see the countless brown pumice stones are floating on the surface of the waves. The size of the stones range between a few millimeters and the size of an adult fist. So I'll leave the link to this article so you guys can check out the videos yourselves and see about the pumice stones washing up on the coast of Japan. Alright. Next, Southwest Airlines having a lot of woes because of cancellation of flights. Southwest Airlines cancels 1,800 flights, blaming weather and staffing. Southwest has canceled more than 1,800 flights over the weekend so far. The Dallas-based airline blamed the disruptions on air traffic control issues, bad weather, and staffing shortfalls. Other airlines that operate on the region reported fewer cancellations. So a lot of cancellations, people being stuck in the airports or having to reroute and try to get on another plane because of the canceled flights. Alright. Here's another article on it. Southwest blames cancellation on worker shortage. Union denies sick out over V mandate. Southwest Airlines has had another terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day as a shortage of workers combined with an air traffic control interruption to bring the total number of canceled flights to nearly 3,000 in 4 days. Crews are struggling to move, and you end up in a shorter order with aircraft and crews in the wrong spot, said EVP. It's really difficult to repair and put those things back together. Speculation over the actual case of cancellations has been rampant on social media, with some pilots refuting claims that they were staging a sick-out over the V mandates, while COPO Mike Van told employees on Sunday night that it needs to build more of a staffing cushion to deal with unexpected disruptions. So a lot of cancellations of flights from both American Airlines and Southwest. Alright, next, the Mexican cartel was seen firing machine guns into the U.S. Above National Guard recon post. It says Mexican cartels have been seen firing automatic weapons across the border and into the United States last night. Real Dawn Star posted on Twitter. It says guardsmen told Milgin that cartel members with AK-47s have taunted them while standing on the other side of the Rio Grande. New multiple instances over the past several days. Texas DPS tells me suspected cartel gunmen involved in human smuggling have stood in and near the Rio Grande in Starr County and taunted Texas National Guard soldiers. They wear tactical vests and have AK-47s. And here's some images of them standing next to cars with looks like a fridge or something in the back of it. Alright, so I'll leave the link to this article so you guys can check that out as well. Alright. Next, geomagnetic storm hitting Earth today could cause power grid and satellite disruptions. Forecasters of the Space Weather Prediction Center warn a solar flare would hit Earth today, potentially affecting power grids and could bring dazzling northern lights to northern latitudes. So, geomagnetic storm watch is in effect for Monday and Tuesday. Geomagnetic storm could affect power grids, primarily poleward, of 55 degrees and geomagnetic latitude. Satellite orientation irregularities may occur. Increased drag on the low Earth orbit satellites if possible. It is adding high-frequency radio propagation can fade at higher latitudes. So, the moderate geomagnetic storm watch is issued for 11 October 2021. A G2 scale of basically wave. It says poleward, a 55 degree geomagnetic latitude, possible effects, power systems, power grid fluctuations, voltage alarms at higher latitudes. So the higher in latitude you are on the planet, the higher the possibility of power grid failure. It says spacecraft orientation irregularities, increased drag on low Earth orbiters, radio high latitude HF propagation fades. Other aurora may be visible as low as from New York to Wisconsin to Washington State. So heads up, guys, if you live in the northern regions, you have a higher chance of having these difficulties. It says while fears of higher latitude disruptions to ground-based power grids and communication systems increase over the next 48 hours, the space weather event could electrify the night sky and produce stunning auroras as far south as New York, as well as the north of England and Northern Ireland. So guys, heads up if you live in those regions. Alright, next. Kraft and Heinz warn shoppers to get used to paying more for food. Global food prices and the fresh decade heights, leading to even higher grocery bills for the working poor, and the supply chain chaos plus the emerging energy crisis are making things worse. Food producers such as Kraft Heinz Company have struggled with shortages, supply chain woes, labor issues, higher energy costs, and rising aged commodity prices, all of which support higher food inflation. So the BBC News spoke out with European boss of Kraft Heinz, Miguel Patricio, who warned that consumers must get used to higher food prices. He said, "We're raising prices where necessary around the world." So heads up if you buy Heinz or Kraft foods. The prices are going up. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more videos. And see you guys next time. God bless you guys. Stay prayed up out there.